All right. Hey, everyone. Blockchain Bernie here. Latest episode. We are having our next AMA today. It's been quite some time due to my India travel that we did the last AMA. So we thought, like, well, this would be a great idea to have one today. We're at our Las Vegas office, and I have Brad to my right and Felix to my left, and we're all here to answer your questions. So if you have questions for Felix for anything marketing communications, any questions for Brad, for DevNet, for the DAO, and all these things, he's happy to answer. And I'm here as well. All right. So yeah, I'll just maybe start with a few things. So I think I mentioned in the October update, that I traveled to India. We did all the design there. So development of the actual Xandeum blockchain is on full speed with three developers down there, plus myself, supervising everything and helping out here and there. So we're super excited for that. And that also means we're building the software that's going to be running on the storage provider nodes, and we're also designing the process on how to get our community of storage providers together, right? And Felix will say a few things about that if you ask him to. And yeah, that's about the status right now. Also, some news about the DAO. We had a DAO on Oku, as some of you remember, with the old Bitoku branding. So we're setting it up with the new Xandeum branding. It's kind of almost done, and we're having the version 0.2 for the Xandeum validator coming up. So many things. All right. So open for you guys' questions. Brad, do we have some already, or
One just came in.
okay?
I'd like to know why my validator only gives me 85%, but others get 99%. I assume they're talking about vote
Okay.
credits.
Okay. You want to say something about that, Brad?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So right now we're still working at balancing out the stake on the DevNet network. So when we started this new cluster, we have a different schedule of epochs. They're much longer, and it seems like everything is taking a lot longer to balance out than it took before. I believe that's why we're seeing that vote credit discrepancy, even though nodes that were performant before aren't right now. So we're working on that, and I think it's getting better every single day now. If you're watching close, but we'll be adding our own portal that you'll be able to look at and see stats of everybody, hopefully shortly here. But we're working on all that.
But it might also
So-
be the node operator's network quality, or
Yeah,
in
it
some
could
cases.
it could definitely be network conditions. That's usually the case, especially with geographically diverse validators. If they're a long ways away from each other, they won't respond in time, and that's just the nature of the blockchain in general. If they don't perform in time, then it counts as a vote that didn't happen. So that'll get fixed as we get more nodes online that are closer to each other that respond faster. So
All right. Felix, more questions there? Or?
Yeah, when will be the launch of the Xandeum token?
The launch of the token, by that you mean like listing the token, like the ICO? I assume you mean that, right? So we don't have a date for that, and you saw we moved it on our website, and the reason mostly just being market conditions, the reason also being listing the token, depending on where we list it, costs a lot of money. So we're still prepared. We have all the legal set up for that. But our priority right now is just building the actual blockchain. I think that helps a lot with listing the token because we are like a technical project, right? Where the one of the fast L1s that has a scalable storage layer. So in order for the token listing to work and also to have some demand there, we need to create more of a community, get way more people into it, and Felix is going to talk about it if you ask him about the storage provider nodes. So I don't want to be the one asking questions here, but yeah, there's a lot of things to do in order to make the ICO a success. And it's like 50-50. 50% is the market conditions, and 50% is also us being ready with having the validator software ready, and also the software that runs on the storage providers, and having kind of a prototype there ready that we're working on at full speed right now. And also, frankly, having a community of storage provider nodes, because we need way more storage provider nodes and community than for the validator nodes, right? So even in DevNet, we need thousands, if not tens of thousands, of storage provider nodes. So yeah, I just cannot say when the token launch will be. I hope it's going to be some point next year. But there are lots of conditions there. Some of them we control, others we do not control, and yeah. So
Okay, we have another question. Who are the developers in India? What is their experience in the crypto industry?
yeah. So I think you saw them on our website. We have Abhishek Falia. So he's been working on an NFT project on Solana before, so he knows Solana in and out. When he started with us, I don't know, maybe a year ago, 9 months ago or so, and he is a super smart guy, right? And it's really so much fun to work with him. With Kaveen, he's been with us. Kaveen Laksitha. So he's from Sri Lanka, and he's been with us for over a year, right? So he was involved in all the early node store things. So he knows Solana in and out now also, but he's also a front end wizard, right? And front end also means if you do front end on the blockchain, you need to know all these libraries in order to, call the back end, call the blockchain functions from the front end. And yeah, Kaveen is a real front end wizard. And then we have Chirag there, who is right now just a Chirag Falia, and he's currently an intern, but he's very versed on Rust and the Rust programming language. And there are so many things that we need to do in Rust for the validator, like communicating with the storage providers. And he's already done with developing the storage provider registry, because each storage provider needs to register with us. It's going to be permissionless in the end when we launch mainnet, and he has progressed with that as well. Yeah, hope that answers the question.
All right. The next question would be, can you tell us a few words about storage nodes?
Okay. Yeah. So the storage nodes are the ones that actually do the work of storing all the data. And the goal there is to have that on relatively cheap consumer devices, even like Raspberry Pis and things. And they are what do the actual work for the scalable storage layer, right? And the storage layer gets scalable because we have so many of these storage nodes, and they get challenged by the validators, right? So the validators send messages, challenges to the storage provider nodes, right? The validators will assign, if there's an app that needs storage, the validators will pick them, right? And usually it'll be equally assigned to each of the storage provider nodes. Unless the storage provider node doesn't perform, then he's going to get fired. So we already have the fire function in our code right now for the registry. And we send those cryptographic challenges. We write the zero knowledge proofs for the results. Each of those challenges to the underlying blockchain, which is a fast blockchain, so we can afford, even at high scale, logging these ZK proofs onto the blockchain, which is a big difference to any of the other storage projects. But as you all know, the big difference to all the other storage projects is like we're building a storage layer into a smart contract platform, right? So we're enabling apps and entrepreneurs to build apps that actually can access that storage layer together with the code. Yeah, and we're currently designing all these things, the user experience of the software on the storage node providers. We have some nice pictures designed. So right now, it's a lot of design phase, right? We're designing the architecture of the software, both of the validator, because they need a lot to do to interact with the storage providers, but also the software on the storage provider to make it super user-friendly, to make a nice GUI so that people can see how much storage do I have left on my device, how much do I want to dedicate to the Xandeum network. And we're also designing on how to create our community of storage nodes. Maybe this is the moment, Felix. You want to talk a little bit about that? How we're designing to build a storage provider community, because you were asking about storage nodes, so I think it makes a good point here.
Yeah, happy to. All right, so we are working on onboarding a lot more people with the storage provider nodes versus the validator nodes. So we need to reach out to a lot more people and make it very easy as well to onboard with us. And yeah, right now we have a project that will make it really easy. It will make it fun to provide storage. It will be gamified. And yeah, it will be very simple to provide small amounts of storage that people aren't using currently. And yeah, that's going to kind of be what we'll hopefully be releasing very soon.
Can you talk a little about the reward structure? Do we know anything about the reward structure yet for storage nodes?
Yeah, so they're kind of two different things. So we'll start with the storage nodes in DevNet. And in DevNet, we kind of set the rewards ourselves. And once mainnet goes live, the storage rewards or the payments will be decided by the market, meaning if there's lots of demand for storage, the storage providers will earn more. And if not, then they will earn less. And there's lots of other factors. If they provide faster storage, more high quality storage, if their uptime is higher, if they have certain certifications, like certain compliances, HIPAA compliance in the US, they'll earn more. But a lot of that will be determined by the market and the quality of offered storage. In DevNet, it will be different because it's just a DevNet, and we can set those rewards. We haven't decided on the exact numbers yet, but those will be released as soon as we get there. Yeah. All right. We had one more question from Robert. Is there somewhere to view the earned rewards for the DevNet?
Yeah, that's a question for Brad, right?
Yeah.
So.
Getting our studio figured out here. Yeah, we're going to be offering a dashboard that shows that once we get the final mechanisms for actually creating the locked tokens. That's all going to be part of that. We don't have that part out. It'll probably be a monthly post in a special channel that has essentially a spreadsheet of your vote account and your rewards. But yeah, that'll be posted monthly so that you can see that as soon as we do the first payment of locked tokens for 18 months. We'll post that at the same time, and they'll be backdated to the first, so they unlock at the right time for you. So, but yep, that's in the process as well.
Awesome.
Okay, the next question, it's a couple of them from Mikkel. Are you still searching for investors? Any news about the financial situation of the project and how you plan to sell all the available nodes?
Okay. Yeah, good questions. So, where do I start? Where was a lot of people? Um, yeah, are we still looking for investors? I mean, we're definitely looking for venture capital, but we're just not making it our main task right now. So, as you might know, and you've watched in some other of my videos, um, I've had some experience with venture capital, and I don't think it makes sense to kind of chase them and make a lot of meetings, and that's easily possible. I mean, I've done that in the past, so I mean, I can fly to Silicon Valley with an hour's flight or something and talk to a lot of these. They all want to talk to us. They want to know what's going on in the market, and we're making our lists here of our targets, and it's probably like a dozen or so that we want to approach. And honestly, I can't tell if it's going to work or not. If it works after we have a prototype of the product, and if we find someone that's interested in the middle of the crypto winter. But we are absolutely looking for that, and we feel if we have a venture capitalist with a big name where everyone trusts, it'll help us so much, right, on our future way. But we're building everything the way that we're not really dependent on it, right? And we're doing it in a way where not one of the management team is like bound for 6 or 12 months to find venture capital. So we're not doing that. And yeah, with the financial situation of the company, I mean, we're we're happily chugging along, and we will have these prototypes ready, and there will also be the storage nodes, right? So I told you, or Felix mentioned that there are storage provider nodes out there. People can earn the mainnet tokens by running a storage provider in DevNet, right? Very similar to what we have to DevNet also. So we think that'll be a contributing factor to our revenues and to our cash inflow. And obviously, it's not the goal to sell the remaining nodes, right? It was never like, oh, we sell off all the validator nodes. It doesn't happen in other chains either, and it doesn't happen in ours also. And obviously, we don't build on selling a lot of validator nodes anytime soon. We do believe it's going to happen if we have that big push with the marketing for the storage provider nodes. And as I said, that is a whole different ballgame, right? Because everything we had right now with the validator nodes was for a few hundred validators that do that. But we have a whole different campaign in the works for the storage provider nodes in order to get that community. And we need that large community in order to have our solution out there, right? It's like if you build an Uber app or an Airbnb app, your assets are all the places that are in there in the case of Airbnb, or all the drivers and riders in the case of Uber, right? So that's what's our moat, right? What sets us apart from others. So and we need these storage provider nodes. I saw some thumbs up there, so thanks. And we are pushing forward as fast as we can and using a lot of marketing budget in order to get these storage providers there, because we're open sourcing our solution in the end, right? So if we open source it and we don't have tens of thousands of storage provider nodes, then anyone could take our source code and they get the community, right? So our community is going to be our asset, and how that all works out financially and stuff, we're all working on that. And also we don't discuss each and every nuance of our finances in public. And in this case, it's just being worked out because getting the storage provider nodes, it has it influences our finances both with expenditures for advertising and stuff, but also hopefully for income, for people to be enthusiastic enough to want to try out their storage node even in DevNet and get the mainnet rewards for it. So yeah, that's how we're heading forward. Okay. I have no idea. Okay.
Okay, so we have another question from Cornell. Do the storage providers need to have founder nodes? That's probably a pretty quick answer.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They don't. Yes. Okay. So the next one is from Robert. In DevNet, the validator should deliver more than 80%. What about the mainnet later? Will more performance be better rewarded?
Should be for Brad, hopefully. No?
So what we'll have at mainnet will be a little bit different than DevNet. In mainnet, you essentially will get penalized by downtime or not being performant because people won't stake to your machine, and that's what ultimately pays you the rewards is having stake on your validator. So anybody can see that there's more performant nodes out there, so you'll want to have performant hardware, and then by keeping your uptime up and your validator up to date, then you'll attract more stake and keep it on there. So that's how you actually make more on mainnet is by running performant nodes.
All right. Okay, the next question from Cornell is the DeFi Wikipedia project starting soon?
Yeah, thanks for that question. One of my favorites, huh? And if you follow the Xandeum X account or Twitter account, there was exactly that discussion going on a few days ago. So if you haven't checked it on X, check it out. Get to the Xandeum Labs account and follow us there. And there are so many discussions about Wikipedia and why it's so centralized and one person can do anything, and then their bias, and then their donations to some opaque organization where nobody tells you when you donate to Wikipedia, where do they donate it on to. And we feel that project is so super important because it shows people what it's actually for, right? So anyone can see Xandeum. With Xandeum, we can do such a thing, right? And then the developers, it's all open source. So any developers that are thinking about, do I want to develop some Web3 app that needs storage? And they see how easy it is with Xandeum, right? So that's why we're working on that real fast. So Kaveen is working on some little project right now that should be finished in a week or so. And then he's starting on that Xandipedia project. And even if our validator storage providers are not ready yet, we just want to show off. It could be a Solana app, right? And in Solana, we cannot put all the data in there, right? It's 200 gigabytes without pictures on the real Wikipedia. So once Xandipedia is done and works on Xandium, we can just pull the data legally, right? Because it's all the Creative Commons BY license. So we can pull the data from Wikipedia and put it into Xandipedia, right? 200 gigabytes would be prohibitively expensive on Solana. So on Solana, we can just put a few articles in there to show you how the app works. And we have it all 100% decentralized on the back end. And it's a challenge to have that storage also decentralized and, so to speak, on chain. But we need to decentralize the front end as well. So we will be using some technologies for, decentralized domain names. There's Solana domains, there is Unstoppable domains that works on Polygon, and all these other things, and figure out, how do we make sure that the front end is also decentralized and architecting these things. And, my goal is to have the Xandipedia prototype, even if it's on Solana, out there real soon, because that showcases it. It makes things clear on what are we actually trying to achieve here, right? And with Filecoin and SCP and blah blah blah. You cannot build that, right? It's not meant as a storage layer for an application, right? That's what we're doing, and Zandipedia will demo that, and because it's so tangible for everyone, and also for the press, I believe, because the press writes a lot about Wikipedia and its shortcomings and decentralization and so on and so forth. So in order to create some serious PR buzz, which we're working on also, by the way, and Zandstorm is just a part of it. Yeah, also for PR purposes, the Zandipedia is super important. All right, thanks for that question again.
Okay, we have one last question from Ian. How much interest have you had in Sandstorm so far, and is the main purpose to attract new investors?
Okay. You want to say something, Felix?
Yes. Yeah, I can talk about that. So no, the answer to that question is no. We don't want to mainly attract new investors. In fact, we want to have our current community there, and we read your community posts in Discord, and we have decided that we will go a different route, and instead of marketing the event substantially and globally, we will instead lower the prices to far below cost. So every community member has the opportunity to come, and price will not be an issue. And yes, we have sold tickets, and those will be refunded to the price that we will lower it to. We haven't set that one yet specifically, but that will come in the next days, probably, maybe even hours. And yes, so people who have already bought a ticket will be refunded for that. So yeah, thank you. This is a great sign to be active in the community, especially in Discord. Let us know what you think, and we'll take everything into consideration as always. And in this time, this was a great point. All right, if you have more questions, now is the time. Before we end it, we have one more from Mikkel. Will we have more educational stuff which helps to observe the validator, especially for non-techies? That's for techie over here.
Yeah. Let me just add a few words to the Zandstorm thing. So, first of all, we have found a keynote speaker. So it's the CEO and founder of one of the key apps on Solana. So super happy we found him. I don't want to give the name yet because we're finalizing everything, but we're going to have a keynote speaker there. And the purpose in general is to give us some credibility, right? It's awesome to be together here with the community and some outside people, right? So we're going to do both. We want to have our community here, and that's why we've been sitting together and say, hey, let's do something on the pricing there. But it's going to be a cost there also. So you guys have to understand there's going to be 2 lunches, and there's going to be the entry to the National Recreation Area, Red Rock National Recreation Area. We need transportation there. We might even need a tour guide to get us through the Red Rocks and everything, right? So this thing has some real cost, and as Felix said, we're going to go below cost. But the key purpose is having the Zandstorm 2023 in the history books. That gives us credibility. We will do our next one in 2024. We want to start as soon as possible, and we want to hear everything from you guys face to face. So anyone that can make it somehow possible of our existing community, please come to Zandstorm. But we're also advertising it and see whatever external visitors we can get, people that might be interested in running storage provider nodes later. And so excited about everything. So I just wanted to add that. And now the question about more tools for validators to Brad.
Yeah, I can definitely work at getting some more videos together on how we can get stuff, how you can monitor stuff a little better. Might need more input from you guys on what will help, what areas that you have trouble with. That'd also be a good thing that some of the community members might put together some guides on what has helped them, and maybe we can help convey that to others. But yeah, we definitely want you guys to know how it works. So we need to know where it's tough for you, and we'll try to help where we can.
Okay, we have more questions. When do you think we will know the requirements to be a storage provider?
Okay, so as I said, we're working on the design right now. So, and it's always tough to say, you know, we finished the design, this and there. We're doing stuff here that has never been done before. So I'm kind of super hesitant to give any answers there. But, you know, it's going to be a month or 2 or 3 or 4, you know, who knows? We're going to do the design and publicize them as soon as we have them. And in the meantime, you should all know that, you know, we're working full speed on all these things, and yeah.
Okay, last question is, you mentioned the DAO. When do you plan the next one with Sand?
So we're in the final stages of getting everything put together for the DAO. We needed to compile our own programs in the background, so we have our own update authority to make sure that none of the programs that exist currently can change our program if they don't align with our views 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So all that took a little bit of time to design in the back end, but that should be live and announced in the next week. We'll have that put together, and that'll allow our first payments of locked tokens as well at the exact same time. So that'll all be happening here in the next week or so.
So that was it. It seems like we have no more questions. It was fun to do this AMA with you guys.
I guess we missed one.
Oh, we missed one. Okay.
Congratulations on over 500,000 viewers on YouTube.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, we just crossed the 500,000 subscriber thing, so super proud of that. And thank you all for watching, guys, and subscribing. All right. Good. So yeah, if you're new to this channel, please make sure to like this video. It really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, and also subscribe, because you know we're updating you on every single bit of the Xandeum blockchain, and it's almost like a progress log. But I also post about so many things just in general about anything blockchain, some news commentary, some general blockchain education, and all these type of things. So it's a very interesting channel. 500,000 subscribers is a great success. And yeah, thanks, and see you guys next time.